Hi, and welcome back to Unit 3, Book 1. In this short video, I'm going to guide you through Stage 5, the last stage of the five-stage process within the inner ring of the IHS Transformational Framework. So Stage 5, Mastering Transformational Change. So we can see here that Stage 5 is the kind of the last stage. But remember here, if you see this a circular diagram, that Stage 5 leads into Stage 1. So we're speaking about how the metaphor of the snake eating its tail, how that all makes sense soon. But before we get any further, I think I really want to emphasize for you to remember, creating lasting change is not easy. Reason I'm empowering this home is because a lot of people, clients, individuals in the population would completely underestimate how hard it is to make lasting change. Second thing to remember is that change is a process and not an event. So it's not something that just happens, a change has happened and then it's done. We really got to be cognizant of, a bit like the metaphor I used of the elastic band in the writing for this, is that if you stretch on an elastic band, guess what? When you let it go, it's going to return to its original shape. So we want to ensure that we go the distance with our clients until they have arrived at the destination. We'll speak more a little bit about what that means in a minute, but this is the attitude we take. We want to remember in neuroscience that the neurons that fire together wire together. So this is the reason that old habits die hard. Anything we've done repetitively for a long time, and remember, some of your clients will have sometimes be doing some of their behaviors for years, decades, or even since they were children. So old habits die hard because in neuroscience, neurons that fire together wire together. The good news is now with awareness of neuroplasticity, we can rewire the brain, but it takes effort and the brain can change itself. But as we try and create change in our lives, unfortunately, we come up against a part of us. So every one of us has a part of us that fights for the status quo. It wants to keep things just the way they are because there's certainty in that, and within certainty there's safety. So there's kind of a primal aspect of your consciousness that fights to keep things just the way they are. I'm very cautious about changing. It's like the conservative member of the party. And as we try and create change, and remember, your client's going to be challenging themselves. They're going to be they're going to be going out of their comfort zone, which will bring about resistance. It will get pushback. If you really are coaching your client to grow and to expand themselves, they're going to be new territory, and that's going to be anticipated by the part that pushes us back. And also, as we try and change ourselves, we may be plagued with resistance in various ways. Typical ways that resistance will show up would be like a procrastination. The inner critic often gets very strong when we go and try and do something healthy for ourselves or something meaningful in our life. Self-sabotage, that ability we have, we're kind of almost there, and then we sabotage our efforts before. So we're looking at really important in transformational coaching that as the client, it's embarking on their plan, bumping into things that we can help them to explore the resistance and deepen their awareness of what they're coming up against inside themselves. And through this deeper awareness and exploration of the cognitive, emotional, and somatic elements, that resistance can be lessened. And as we connect the heart with the head, with the hand, then that resistance is minimized, and hopefully the motivation is strong enough to push through the residual, push you back. You basically get from your biology and your neurology. So the key thing here is that, the maintenance phase. Just because your client is on the way doesn't mean they'll get to the destination. So we really want to making sure that what is working continues, and a lot of the time it just rinse and repeat. The client finds a way that's working and making improvements, but it has to be maintained until we have arrived. And so really this actually combines right in at stage 1 and stage 2. Clear, measurable outcomes. So things you set up at the start of the coaching to help direct the plan will be, well, how will we know when you get there? So the client may have the desired outcome and goal. How will you know when you've achieved that goal? How will you know when you have become that person you know you can be? How will you know when you've arrived? And looking for specific and clear and measurable outcomes that would prove to the client and to the coach that yes, the client, they've now come here, they've arrived here, and that is a clear marker for us. Yes, we have arrived, and that can be the achievement of their goal or their desired outcome, which is a time to celebrate. And it's the wonderful thing about coaching as well, is that when your client is successful, we get to celebrate it with them and commend them for their efforts. And we will have had a wonderful first-hand view, very intimate view of their journey along the way. So we can really celebrate and remind them of the journey, the ups and the downs along the way. And so celebrating the success. We celebrate the little successes along the way as well as the big one. We can celebrate the big one too. And then what? So when you've helped your client get there, fantastic, or perhaps you've come to the end of the agreed duration of this coaching. So then what? So one option is determine is the coaching, has it served its use, and is the client now ready to move on, and are you ready to terminate the coaching? If so, then you will seek to terminate the coaching. Alternatively, and in a broader aspect, when a client has perhaps they've reached a goal along the way, but they haven't got to their vision yet, haven't got to their overall objective, we celebrate that, and we can then reorient or refocus the client's energy. So the client will have put a lot of effort and energy into creating change, and success breeds success. So as the client gets more confident and gets that feedback from the benefits of positive change, they usually want to continue that. So you may go to stage one and start co-creating a partnership for a new focus and reorient the plan or the action plan toward a new overall objective, or to new goals within the integrated plan. And I mentioned earlier on, the rinse and repeat. So the maintenance phase, you probably already have learned about this in Readiness to Change model. The maintenance phase is, we want to be able to delineate in terms of behavioral change, the maintenance phase of a new behavior and the adoption phase. So how will we know when the client has created a new behavior, a new automatic or healthy habit, such as brushing your teeth at night? You don't have to think about it, don't have to take notes or have reminders that need accountability. They're there. So we want to be able to clearly anticipate how we know they've arrived there. And when they have arrived there, then that's adoption phase. You've done your job. The client has done their job. They no longer have to work in that area. So it's fantastic. It's good news. So again, back to reorient or refocus or terminate. The little hint here. So when you're working to adopt, and if you're trying to adopt a new behavior or new behaviors, like the maintenance phase is a minimum of 3 months. From the accurate and reliable research, 3 to 6 months minimum of a repeating behavior before it becomes like an automatic habit. This is where a longer term coaching package is excellent for lasting change, support the client for those 3 to 6 months. Then we have high confidence. High confidence in what? High confidence that the client feels really confident that they will be able to maintain this new way of being, this new way of doing, the new them. And the temptation to return to the old way is very low. So when the confidence is high, the temptation is really low, and there's been a good few months of repeated and successful action, you're probably there or very close to it. So you kind of set that, find out what will mark that adoption phase, and then you're done. And then you need to either terminate or refocus. Okay, so that's all of the stages, all of the pieces, apart from communication skills, which is ever present. So I hope you've got the pieces now, or at least enough of them, to start practicing and to put this into action, which is where you'll really learn. And I'll see you on the next video, where we will summarize and pull it all together to help you hopefully have a new consolidated understanding of the framework. See you in the next video.